One of my favorite habits when I am riding too high or too low emotionally is I reflect. You've heard me talk about that many, many, many times. And the reason I reflect is because I want to get back to neutral, because I understand, yes, having a little celebration is not a bad thing. But if you take that celebration too far, you lose all the habits that brought that. And yeah, you're going to have some shitty days where things crash and burn, but that doesn't mean everything is crashing and burning.
I read a book once called The Untethered Soul, and I think that there's some valuable insights in it, but I also think you have to stay grounded. I think it's both.
Next Level Nation, today for episode number 2217, you can never get too high, and we're not talking about smoking pot. We're talking about emotional regulation. We got several new clients over at NLPS this week.
Nice. Next Level Podcast Solutions. For those of you who don't know.
Yes, for those of you who don't know. Which is
if you want to start, grow, scale, or monetize your podcast, Kevin's your guy.
68 clients.
Nice.
68 podcasts.
Let's go.
And many of those podcasts have multiple people, which is always interesting. So we're working with a lot of podcasters. Group coaching has 11 people. So we're working with a lot of podcasters right now. Yes.
Another time.
And here, this is the hard part about all this, okay? So this is all, I want to make sure it's not blanket statement. I celebrate getting new clients almost not at all now. I'll walk out into in the hallway or the living room or the kitchen, and I'll go to Taryn and say, new client, and we'll slap hands.
Nice.
But back in the day, it was new client, I'm going to get dinner, and I'm going to celebrate. And I'm not even saying that's bad. I think that's probably good at the beginning. And I also would have days where I lost the client where it was literally the end of the fucking world. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And those were not productive, constructive ways to live. I am understanding at a deeper level now. I would like to do a money episode at some point. Mm-hmm. And one of the thoughts I have is people will say, well, it's easy for you to say because you have blank. Money, a relationship, whatever it is. How do you develop this before you have the results that force you to develop this type of emotional neutrality, for lack of better phrasing? That's my question I pose to you. You know what I mean?
When you say this, you're referring to staying centered, not getting too emotionally high or too emotionally low.
Yes. Neutral. Yeah. Neutral is my thought.
This is what Stoicism is built on.
Yes.
Yeah, so Stoicism is essentially you don't celebrate every time something goes well, but you also don't shut down for an entire weekend every time you lose a client.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is, and we've all been in this moment, it's like when you're in the gym. When did this happen? 2 days ago? You know how you hit flow and you feel like $1 million sometimes? Mm-hmm. And you get cocky. You throw on more weight than you should. This happened to me. I was feeling good. I carbed up in the morning. I slept well. This was a few weeks ago. And I was in a bulk too. So I was almost 210. So I was getting, I don't want to use fat anymore. I think fat's the wrong word. I was getting fluffy, we'll say, on purpose. And I was like, I'm going to put on the weight. And I was like, Emilia, spot. This means spot. We just do a full hand. And so she comes over to spot me. I warmed up with 135 and then I jumped right to.
What lift are we talking about here?
Bench press.
Okay.
Regular barbell bench press.
Okay.
Bench press. So 45, 25, 10.
45, 20, 45 and 35. That would be 205 where I come from.
205. And by the way, this is a unique thing about me. I just want to share this for a second because now I understand. It's like, well, you don't math, but I don't do it in math. You always know the actual 225, 205. For me, I know it based on the plates.
I got to know the number.
Why?
Because that's how you get to the 1,000-pound club, baby.
Yeah, that's the perception thing. I'm realizing that.
Yeah.
To me, that's cognitive labor that I don't care about because to me, I remember 45, 25, 10 on each side. For me, that's something that's I never said out loud, but everyone always knows their number. It's like, oh, is it 205, 225? How much do you bench? It's like I look at the plates.
Well, the other part is if you're depending on what app you use, you got to put.
Then you have to track the number of weights. Yeah, agreed. Which I don't. I do all that in my head, so I think that's unique as well. But anyways, so I went from 135 to 205 with like right in between. And I was like, I'm going to hit this for 5. And I got 3, and Emilia was so scared. And I just didn't do it. It was one of those bad lifts. I just was like,
That's the best way to explain it. I just didn't do it.
I just couldn't fucking put this weight up. Because normally I build up to that and I get momentum and I'm feeling good. This time I was like, fuck it, let's start there. Worst idea ever. So my point of this is I got too emotionally high. I hit pre-workout. I was feeling good. I had high self-esteem. I just was feeling it in the moment. And Stephen Kotler, you're reading The Art of Impossible. He says when you're in flow, you get all the best brain chemicals. You just get this chemical brain cocktail of greatness. It's awesome. It's like when you're surfing or snowboarding or whatever, or you're in the gym and you're feeling it, you're in the zone, you think you're superhuman. You feel superhuman. It's like, fuck yeah, it's a great idea. And then you do it and you realize this is a terrible idea. Why did I do that?
Been there.
And so I think it's very immature to be way too high or way too low when little things happen. And I'm not trying to be unkind about this, but there's actual practicality and utility in this. So how do you develop the skill? It really comes down to you practice it. Here's the problem. You're not going to practice it unless you need to practice it. So for example, let's say okay, this is going to be hard for me to share, but I want to share it. We were on the road and Kevin wanted to go get dinner to celebrate. And to me, there was nothing to fucking celebrate.
First of all, we were not on the road. We were in Malibu on the Pacific Coast Highway, one of the most beautiful places I had ever been. That was context.
Okay.
We got burritos from a fucking food truck. Excellent. They were excellent.
Excellent burritos.
They were excellent.
But to me, what the fuck are we celebrating? We're not successful.
I'll tell you exactly what we're celebrating. We're celebrating a reality that I never knew I could experience.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that I lessened.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
No, but at the end of the day, to me, it's like, congratulations.
But
like, this is not successful.
But if you lost the biggest client ever, it doesn't affect you almost at all. So it's like less than most, I'd say. Less than most.
Yeah, for sure.
I won't say.
No, it's true. It's true. I don't think I get very.
You don't. It's just like, oh, all right. Let's go get more clients now.
Okay. I want to share this. And this is a success podcast, so I get to share this stuff now. There's something called your locus of control. And I think that I've been practicing this for my entire adult life. I try really hard not to let things outside of my control affect my emotional state. And I work really, really hard on that. We've talked about that in the past. Like, listen, a lot of bad things are going on in the world right now. Like a lot. And social media and media outlets are constantly perpetuating gloom and doom. Constantly. Mm-hmm. If you let that affect you, you're not going to be able to be optimistic and confident and intelligent. Your cognitive function is declining when you fill your mind with a bunch of nonsense. If you're a business owner out there and or a dream chaser, you kind of have to focus on your goals more than anything else. And you and I playfully joked in the last episode. It's like you were more sitting around waiting for Marshall Mathers to,
drop the album.
Yeah. And I playfully joked, listen, I waited for Avatar 2 for 10 years, but I wasn't actually sitting around waiting. I've studied James Cameron's career. I've studied Avatar. I've studied film, but I don't study that more than my own company, my own career, my own business, my own.
Super common though. That's super common.
I know. But unfortunately like if you're super high when Avatar 3 is coming out in December, I'm super pumped. I can't wait. It's going to be great. But I'm not going to like do less until then and then do more after. You can't be successful and be an emotional child. Children, and I did this, you'd be super pumped about something and then you scream into your pillow not 2 hours later. Like, you can't be like that as a professional.
This is my thought.
You can't get super pumped when you win and then super down when you lose. You have to learn how to take it all in stride.
I think as long as you know how to do it. So I was thinking to myself, what's the difference between somebody who hits their first home run in the Little League and then somebody who goes on to be like a professional baseball player who hits 50 home runs a year? Like, they don't celebrate every home run the same.
Yeah.
I'm sure Tom Brady's a great example. He threw a lot of touchdown passes. He didn't celebrate all of them the same.
Of course.
Right?
I'm sure the first Super Bowl meant a lot more than.
But I
sixth.
think that's the point. Is as it becomes more normal, by definition, it's going to affect you differently in both a positive and a negative thing. I
think this is why the not give a shit attitude comes off as status.
For sure.
I think it's... So, for example, we had I don't know, last month was probably 35,000 or something like that.
I don't know. You know the number better than I.
Yeah. And I should know the exact number, to be honest with you. I do. It's over here in my spreadsheet, but I'm not going to pull it up. The point is like, okay, cool. Like, that sounds cool. It's like a flex to, I made 35 grand and whatever. And then the $100,000 month, like, I didn't celebrate almost at all because it's not about that for me. But that's not a flex of I don't give a shit. I care deeply about that. As a matter of fact, my actions every day is what led to that. So I think in the social world, I think a lot of people pretend they don't give a shit about their wins or their losses because it comes off like that's your normal. When in reality, I think I'm the opposite. Behind the scenes, I take everything very seriously. Very, very, like if we weren't on camera, we have 7 minutes and 4 seconds. Dude, I'm going to have a timer the moment we're done. And I'm always timing behind the scenes, I'm way more intense than I am on this fucking show. Yep. Now, I think most people are the opposite. I think when they're in the social world, they pretend to be like intense and tenacious and courageous, and I don't really give a shit. This is normal for me. But then behind the scenes, I think they struggle and they're actually not very confident. But this whole thing is basically make sure that the social world and the real world are not affecting you to the point where you can't be effective. Like if Tom Brady thinks he's going to win the game, the moment he hits a touchdown pass, he's going to lose focus. You have to stay in the sweet spot. Yeah. You have to stay humble enough to know you could fucking lose, but confident enough to know that you're going to win. And you have to stay in the sweet spot. And right now I feel like I'm in the sweet spot. I'm pumped that we're doing well, but I'm also not like going to get cocky about it. I think that, not to mention, who cares? Like, let's go to the next level. I don't care about like.
But that's always the thing. Is I understand I think it's directly connected to how surprised you are at what happens.
Yeah, agreed.
Every day when I wake up, I literally open my WhatsApp and my email saying, "All right, who's leaving today?" Every day, and I'm not saying that's healthy. Every time I'm on a call with someone, it's like, oh, this person's a potential client if they want to work with us. Mm-hmm. I did 2 breakthrough sessions. They were very much sales calls. Like they literally said they wanted to work with us. And I told Taryn, I was like, we're probably going to get 2 new clients today. So I expected it. But I also expect, once a month, somebody's going to leave or whatever. I'm going to get a message of like, hey, can we try something new? This isn't working. Or, hey, we dropped the ball on something. I think it's directly connected to that. If you get up, if you're the worst player on the team, quote unquote, and you're the one who hits a grand slam, everybody's going to celebrate the shit out of you.
I know.
Everybody's going to celebrate the shit out of you. But if you're the best quarterback that your school's ever seen and you throw an interception, nobody's going to feel bad for you. It's like, fucking deal with it.
They're just going to be pissed at you.
They're going to be pissed at you because they expect more. And there's something to that. In my opinion, I think if you just got your first client, fuck yeah. Celebrate. Don't celebrate to the point where it takes you off the rails, and don't celebrate to the point where you're convinced you're the shit and you never have to do this again. You essentially have to do this every day / week for however long you would be successful. If you just lost a client, go and lick your wounds. It's not the end. It doesn't mean you can't be successful. It doesn't mean you're terrible. It doesn't mean you don't know anything. It doesn't mean any of those things. It means this didn't work out. If we take a level 10 response to a level 2 emotion that feels like a 10 on either end, we're sabotaging ourselves.
We did an episode not long ago on success is a process, not a destination.
Yeah.
But you have to choose a destination in advance in order to figure out what process to do. I always playfully joke. It's like, if you want to win an Olympic gold medal in swimming, don't go golfing. 6 days a week. Maybe once a week, swim the other 6. So the process has to be reverse engineered from the outcome you want in advance. But it is a process. And I think that what this is saying don't get so high or so low that you can't do the process. And that's really what it comes down to. Do you remember Linsanity way back? Okay. So in the NBA, there was a guy named Jeremy Lin who was from Harvard, and he just had this run where he was unbelievable. And it's just interesting to me because I remember everyone was going nuts of Linsanity and Jeremy Lin and all. It's like, he's not even that good.
He's better than people expected.
But he was off the bench. He was better than people expected, right?
Right.
And so expectations are so dangerous, and it's hard for us as human beings to mitigate that. What's a good example of this? This is why I do disclaimers. I have a disclaimer flashcard right here. No one is 100% right or 100% wrong about anything. What matters is what is optimal for you. We are here to reach our full potential and to create an updated and more accurate understanding of ourselves, others, and the world. If you are not here to get better, please leave now. I basically say this before book club and before the master classes because I want to set expectations. Like I say this in book club all the time now and master classes. If you're in a bad emotional state, fucking leave. This is not going to be good for you. We are here to look at where we suck. Why? So we can get better. We're not here to celebrate how great we are. What a fucking useless endeavor that is. To me, if you think you're great at this level, seriously, you need some humility. The people that are the best in the world at what they do never think they're the greatest. They know that they're statistically better than most, but they never put themselves in a place where it's like, if you get cocky, it's happened to me so many times. If you get cocky, you're fucked. But if you also are down and out every time you take an L, you're also screwed. So it all depends on where you're at. And I think self-regulation is a sub-skill, meta-skill that is necessary for success because you're going to get knocked on your ass. There was a time last week on the road trip where, dude, this hasn't happened to me in a year and a half. I could not get out of bed. We drove like 14 fucking hours the day before after I coached until 2. So I coached last Saturday, not last Saturday, but the Saturday before, from like, I don't know, 10 to probably 2:30. Then we had to finish packing the car, left at 3. From 3, we got all the way to Virginia, I want to say, and we stayed there. And then we had to unpack the car. And then I had to get up the next day and coach. I had a noon, right? And dude,
I do have to pop in a minute, just FYI.
Got it. Yeah, nice. I had a noon coaching session. I messaged the client. I said, hey, is there any chance tomorrow at the same time works better? And that's the first time I've had to move a coaching session in a year and a half. But I could not get out of bed. I was cooked after that. That was very humbling. And so you have to find a way to pull yourself back out of a negative state. I had the doom and gloom and all the I'm the worst and all that stuff. I had to pull myself back out. But when you win after the 100K month or whatever it is, you can't get cocky either. So you have to stay centered, and that's a skill.
Neutral. I like neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to swing back and forth. It swings less and less and less the more you do the thing. That is my thing. I remember getting a client back in the day would change my life. It still changes my life today, just in a much different way. Losing a client would be the end of the world. It still is the end of the world, just in a much different way. Still sucks, and it's still great. It's just not going to knock me off the course of what I'm supposed to do for that day. Okay, cool.
Fire.
If you are trying to make sure you stay on course, Next Level Nation, a group of amazing humans. Alan has coaching available. Have the link in the show notes. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And if you are as dedicated as you say you are to getting to the next level, make sure you tune in tomorrow because we will be here to help you get there.
Keep reaching for your full potential. Next Level Nation.